Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home. Welcome, everybody, to the Heal Your Hunger Show. So happy to have you here. It is a great day to be alive, and I'm super excited about my guest today. And before I bring her on, I want to just say that if you are not part of the Secret Sauce group on Facebook, join us there. This is where emotional eaters and people who struggle with food and weight go to get support and get latest up to dates on our updated information about Heal Your Hunger and interviews that I do. And I record my podcast often there. So yeah, check us out there. It'll be just a great place to hang out and get support and not do this alone. You know, nobody can overcome the food problem alone. It's just too big a problem. It's like the hardest addiction to overcome if you're a food addict. I'm telling you, like alcohol, you know, and drugs and all those things, you can put the plug in the jug with that stuff, put it down, never pick it up again. Not so with food. You know, we got to take that little tiger out of the cage, that big roaring tiger out of the cage, pet the kitty and put it back in 3 times a day. So that is we have to deal with it every day. And so that makes it a lot trickier, and it means we have to go deeper and we have to deal with deeper issues. So that's what Heal Your Hunger is all about. And if you're not sure if you're an emotional eater, definitely go to my website, healyourhunger.com, and take the quiz, the emotional eating quiz, and find out, are you an emotional eater or not? Or are you an emotional eater or a food addict? It's a spectrum. So find out where you are in the spectrum, get the personalized score, and then really action steps you can take. So healyourhunger.com is where you go for that. And now onto my awesome guest, Miss Debbie Potts. She's a friend and just a beautiful, beautiful soul. And with a passion and mission to train whole athletes from the inside out, Debbie's been helping many people achieve optimal health for 25 years through the holistic method coaching program. As a fitness studio owner, coach, and book author, she is so accomplished, has so many credentials in this whole world of fitness. She's just a rock star and very, very reputed in her industry. And she's also the host of the Whole Athlete podcast, as well as the author of the bestseller Life is Not a Race, and also the Holistic Method Manual. So gosh darn it, I'm so psyched to have you here, Debbie. Thank you.
Well, thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, it was fun. We were swapping shows, right? I was on your show and now you're on mine. So that's the way to do it. Yeah, it's just so good to know you. And I know that you, we met through FDN, because I was speaking there at their conference. And, it's just beautiful that you are, you're helping people with fitness, but from such a holistic perspective. And that's so important for my tribe because emotional eaters are exhausted from trying to grapple with this terrible conundrum, which is the food obsession and the gaining weight and the yo-yo dieting and all this. And of course, exercise is in that fold because we always think if we eat less and exercise more, which is conventional wisdom, we'll be fine. And yet when you're binging on sugar and carbs and you're in front of the television, the last thing you want to do is get up and go for a run, or show your face in a gym. It's just a miserable experience. And I've never been a gym rat in any way, shape, or form. I just never darkened the doors of gyms. And even though I've been in a thin body for 30 years, after losing 50 pounds, I'm scared of gyms. I'm just not a workout person, and I don't like all those little skinny workout clothes, and just had that typical emotional eater response. It was almost like a visceral response when I walked in a gym recently. I went with a friend, and it was a great experience, turns out. But at first, I'm like, this is not my place. I do not belong here. So I'm really psyched to have you on because you have such a gentle, beautiful perspective on this, and you're not this driving trainer do it, and that's what makes it so beautiful for people who are a little daunted, and who have beat themselves up with exercise for so long.
Well, that's why I opened my own fitness studio at a boutique type of private fitness studio for 12 years, and I just closed it. But it was more to have a place that everyone could come in, that it's one-on-one, or we had 2 or 3 people that were somewhat similar with their goals and personalities, and training them in a comfortable place. So they didn't have to go, feel like they have to put their hair and makeup on and what they're wearing, and people just, roll out of bed and come in. It was great. And teaching people that it's fun, and exercise shouldn't be something you dread doing and resent, going into the club type of setting. It is, stressful, and it is uncomfortable, and people often quit. So when I opened up my own studio, it was just like, here, it's more, happy, energetic, positive place to share with people.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And you are now working with people online. So you're bringing that whole culture. Obviously,
Mhm.
that's who you are. That's where you live. You've got a lot more consciousness around just health and just holistic health and spiritual and emotional growth and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So you're clearly bringing that to the online space and helping people online.
Well, a part of that is this journey I've been on for a long time, and being a trainer for 25 years and getting into, I was dieting myself and having that roller coaster up and down since high school, and that relationship with food. Then I got into exercise and training people that way, that you realize, you can't help people by just training them 2-3 days a week. So kind of got frustrated. It's like, how am I helping them? They're not getting healthier. They're not losing fat weight, and they're not reaching their goals. What can I do? And so I started kind of, over the years, have gone into all these different trainings to be more of a health coach, and, nutritional therapy, and Paul Chek and Ben Greenfield and all these different programs I keep doing, because I just love learning, and that you can't train someone to be healthy, to optimize their health and improve performance in daily life. And these aren't for athletes. I like to help everybody just who wants to move better, feel better, look better from the inside and out, and just feel beautiful. And it's just more to it than just the exercise or the food. So 5 years ago, I created the holistic method, working on the WHOLE part of you, and that it's nutrition and exercise. But the other of the 8 elements to really work on you are the stress, because that's my history, is chronic stress and having internal breakdown from that, all these health problems I've had. And then the sleep, which is impacted with stress, and nutrition, exercise, they all impact another. And then we've got mobility, because a lot of people exercise, but they just sit all day. So really training people on moving more and getting moving, rotation, lunge, reach, all that stuff. And then a big one that we talk about nutritional therapy and FDN as practitioners is digestion, gut health. And then hydration, of course, is always essential to health. And my most favorite topic of the holistic method is happiness, gratitude, playing, just enjoying life. And I think that is the biggest part to almost work on to help all the other parts. So that's kind of what I have evolved just from my own experience of working with so many people over the years. Like, this isn't the solution, just training people.
Yeah. Well, I love that. And I think it's really important, because people use, emotional eaters especially, use use exercise as a means of beating themselves up, like they just, it's all about compensating for what they've eaten or trying to make their bodies thinner, and not addressing the underlying causes. What I'm always trying to get people to do is really change their paradigm of exercise as just do something you love, and that's all I can do. As I said, I can't force myself to go to the gym and do that the whole routine. So I have to choose exercise that feels nurturing. And I think changing that, like doing a reframe and thinking of exercise as simply a way of nurturing our bodies, even if it's a walk, which I walk every day. And that is the most nurturing form of exercise I can do. I walk and pray. It just feels so good. And I think getting into that mindset is so important. So do you see that with your clients, like that you're involved in kind of changing their perspective on it?
Yeah, I think it's changing your relationship with food as you do, but with exercise and making it fun, as I said. But also, doing stuff that you like to do makes you feel good afterwards. And when I'm training clients, everyone's individual, and meet them where they're at. So I'm not going to make someone do burpees and box jumps and, to give the same program for everybody. That everyone likes different things. And I always think, okay, how are you feeling today? Where are you? So you're not forced yourself to do something. And it's just so important to be able to improve the aging process. So I'm all about mobility, stability. Can you get your shoe on? Can you put your pants on? I think so many people in the space of nutrition and exercise, they forget the part of that proving the aging process. And I really just want to be able to put my shoe on in the morning without having to sit down, and you can't bend over. You watch your own parents age and how, my mom said last night their best friend fell off a ladder yesterday and, they can't get up and walk. And I think that's where I love to teach people is, it's not just going to the gym and lifting weights. Yes, you need to be strong and be able to lift your groceries out of the car and walk those stairs, and just the quality of life is so important. So I think thinking of the mentality of that's like, I want to be able to go to Europe and go, like we were just in Lisbon. You have to be in good shape to go up those stairs and those hills, and going to Tuscany, wherever you travel to. I think that's what we should be focusing on. Training is training for life, not thinking, oh, I have to go to the gym to lose weight.
Yes, I love that. And it's so true. I talked to a client a little bit ago who just said, it's really important that she came to me because she was looking forward and thinking, when my kids have kids, I want to be able to get on the floor and play with my grandkids. And if I don't do something about this weight, that's not going to happen. I'm going to be the old lady in the chair saying, come to me, I'll read you a story. But I'm not going to be playing with my grandkids. And that was her motivator. That was her why, is she wants to be spry and, able-bodied to be able to be the grandma she wants to be, which is so beautiful.
Well, a few years ago, I had a gal that was just in her 70s, and that's pretty young to me for my client. Like 70s is not old these days. And she could not get up off the floor. And I thought, and she had another trainer before, and they just did everything standing. Like, well, don't you ever need to get up? And, you can't, it's just that old commercial, I've fallen, I can't get up. What am I going to do? And she had grandkids. And so my goal was to be able to get her to stand up on her own instead of having benches all around her. It's like, you have to have strength to get up, to go up the stairs, to get off the toilet, to pick up your kids, your grandkids. That's what I think fitness should be, is about health and, being able to thrive in life every day. And I think people forget that part. So doing more functional strength training and, being able to get up. I started asking or paying attention to the clients I was training at the time, like, can you get up off the ground? It's really important. So there is started a few years ago in fitness doing GTS, ground to standing exercises, start on the ground and work your way how to get up. And it's just something, they teach, and looking at how infants go from crawling on the ground to standing. And we almost have to do that in reverse. Everything we do as an infant, now as we get to be older adults, have to relearn, how do I get up off the ground? So I think that's so important part of why, what the why is.
I love that GTS. that is important. Very, very important. A lot of people have a fear of, and I think I have this fear too, of hurting themselves, injuring themselves, and what could happen. I mean, literally I go to a bar class, and literally the other day I did too much weights, and I did pull something around my shoulder area, and kind of scared me. I had this fear of, oh my God, like, I don't have a bum arm, and I don't want to have surgery and all, my head just kind of went with it. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's just a pulled muscle. Like, it's probably going to heal, but that is a fear, when you get older, that you're not, as agile and you're going to hurt yourself, and then you're going to be stuck with more pain.
I think a lot of people should invest in a trainer, just get someone to watch you exercise and teach you the right form, and just keep you accountable. But I just cringe at I'm just such a form and alignment person. So watching people in the gym, if the other day I went in the evening and I saw these kids working out, I was like, oh my God, you're stressing me out. I have to leave. And I couldn't work out because it's just a horrible form. And that's, how people hurt themselves, and not, learning how to connect with your core and being mindful and focused, and just same as you're eating. You should be sitting, eating your food, focused, chewing your food, being present. But the same thing's happening when people are exercising. They're on their dating cell phone, checking text messages or posting their social media workout photos or whatever they're doing. And it's the same thing when they're eating. It's like, focus on what you're doing, be in touch with your emotions, be in touch with what your body, what muscles you're activating, what you're feeling. And then you won't get hurt. But if you're just being mindless, same with eating. I just realized as I'm saying this, like, it's the same thing. You know, how many
Yeah.
people don't even know what they're eating and tasting their food and chewing correctly? Same thing happens in the gym. They don't even know what they just did, and suddenly their back's killing them and their neck hurts.
That's a great point. Being really mindful as you're exercising, be present with what you're doing. It's your body. It's like
Mm-hmm.
operating a machine,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of complicated parts, and the more
Mm-hmm.
present we can be, the more safe we can be.
Well, I think so many people are multitasking, right? Like the whole thing of all this chronic stress, chronic stressors in our life involves multitasking, and our issues with poor digestion, our issues with exercising incorrectly and being constantly in that sympathetic nervous system is that we don't know how to shut down and relax, but then we don't know how to just focus on one thing at one task. Instead, we're doing looking at your cell phone, checking messages while they're going for a walk, and just teaching people how to disconnect and unplug to connect with your own self. And I think that would help people healing their hunger issues. Is just, who am I? What am I feeling? What are my emotions? That's why I love riding my bicycle, because I can't have any computer, cell phone distractions. I'm riding and I get the best ideas and clarity and just kind of my own life and agenda. And I pretty much wrote my book, Life is Not a Race, while I'm riding my bike. I'm like, oh, that sign, slow down, speed bump, just different things were like aha moments. And until you're able to be one with yourself, you don't really pay attention to who you are.
Absolutely. No, I really love that. And I mean, again, this bar method class that I go there to relax
Mm-hmm.
because it's a class, it's an hour. Sometimes it's 45 minutes. They have an express class, but it's an hour typically. And they have somebody who's really good at they walk you through the whole thing. I don't have to think, or I don't have to concentrate on it. Like they do spot you. They're really good about form and stuff, which is what I love about it. I don't get that in yoga. I get it in this class where they're constantly checking you and telling you to, lift your hip more or your arm
Good.
in a different position. Yeah, it's great. But it's almost meditative for me. Like the whole thing, and we end up on the floor, the lights are dimmer, and we're doing like relaxation coming down from the exercise. And the exercise itself isn't even a hard workout. It's mostly toning, core stuff. And I just love it so much because I do get that like it gets me away from work. It gets me away from relationships. It just like right there, right now, great music. I mean, my head's everywhere, but still that hour just gives me that relaxation. And I really love it for that reason,
And when you get done and you feel like,
well, let
good.
me tell you, when I first started this class, it was really hard. I am so not an exerciser. Like I said, no gyms for me, and not even, I couldn't run if like a saber-toothed tiger was chasing me. But I basically, I love it because I am toning and I am taking care of myself, and it really feels so good. But it was so hard at first because I hadn't exercised those muscles, and I literally would have to pray through the whole class, like, God, get me through this class, be like counting the 15-minute chunks, get me through. So it was hard at first, but you do layer your muscle. I mean, you know about this a lot more than I do, but as I would strengthen and layer the strength of my muscles, it got easier. And it's the hard parts when I take a break, I go away for a week or something, and then coming back is harder. So it's easier, I suppose. I mean, you probably teach people, it's easier to stay toned than to fall off and get toned, right?
It's hard to start all over, because if you stop training, you have to restart and go back to not total zero, but just build that foundation. But I think, I just had some thoughts when you said that, is a lot of times we're hard on ourselves and we're overachievers, type A, AAA personality, that, I was thinking about all this, that we tend to punish ourselves and do too much and think more is better. And I often have to say, less is more. You don't have to do so much in life in general, and with your exercise, that you don't have to do an hour in the gym. I train people for 30 minutes. I can give you a workout in 15 minutes. You don't have to go in and spend 45 minutes, hour and a half, especially cardio machines. They're a waste of time. I'd rather people get outside, get some daylight exposure and sunlight, and be in that fresh air, and then go do strength. You need more. I'd rather people do more strength. As I said, we need that to climb stairs, to go to the bathroom, get out of bed, And I think that's more important. But I think everyone, just does so much in life when we just need, some people might be better off doing something more restorative and slowing them down and focused on, doing more of a yoga or a Pilates that you have to totally tune into your body and get their mind to empty out all the clutter. And then there's others that, should just do more strength training. And then there's some people that need to add a little cardio burst in there. So everybody's so different. And I think it's learning not to feel bad about yourself if you don't do something. And I think this is kind of related, but I was thinking of all this, writing a blog before we recorded. And I think a lot of times if we're not busy doing something, we feel insufficient and we feel I'm not good enough. And, if that relates to eating to look a certain way or feel a certain way and exercising. So we're trying to, look better, or maybe, we're trying to do it because we feel like we should. And I just think a lot of times we have to know when to listen to those red flags, to like, it's okay to go for a walk. I don't have to go to the gym, and don't punish yourself for it. So then you feel guilty. And it's just so amazing how all of this messes with your head, and being grateful and being appreciative for what you can do. I think we don't do enough.
Beautiful. Amen. You hear that, everybody? No beating yourself up if you're not, you don't think you're doing it right, or you're not doing enough, or whatever. I'm telling people that all the time. Like, come on, give yourself a break, for God's sakes. Emotional eaters are so mean to themselves. Oh, they're so constantly criticizing, constantly harshing out on themselves. So I love that. Such a gentle message, Debbie. Thank you so much. Tell me about who you work with people online now, which is totally cool because we have people listening from all over. Tell me the typical person, like or the kind of person that you see or is attracted and drawn to your work.
Well, usually, I find, and you learn this in programs, is that people get attracted to people as themselves, right? So my background, I wrote my personal story in my book, Life is Not a Race, It is a Journey. And my life trying to be, as I just said, that person to excel and just doing more is better and always busy. Well, starting in 2013, I had, adrenal exhaustion. Technically, that's not a real word. It's HPA axis, blah, blah, blah. So long word, but it's just chronic stress accumulates. So external, internal stressors. And so my clientele would be the people that relate to doing too much in life, and then having this chronic fatigue. Suddenly one day I was like, sideswipe, I couldn't ride my bike. I was crying. I gained 30 pounds in a couple months, and I just downhill spiral. And that's been since 2013. I'm still always having to work on my stressors, and it's just who I am. I look at my genetics. I'm like, why did this happen to me? And someone else can tolerate all that stress. And I'm just that personality that, more is better. You always have to reassess yourself and stop, pause, recalibrate. But just those people similar to me that just want to, be overachievers, but need reminders to stop and put a little more breaks during the day. And that the struggle is real, as you're saying earlier about emotional eating, is that same with people that just don't feel good. You don't have to struggle alone. There's things that, we can help you with. And as I am a FDN practitioner and a nutritional therapy practitioner now, I'm doing DNA fit, kind of genetic exercise nutrition program. I can assess all that together and help create programs for individuals. So that's kind of what I'm starting to do this month, and just really focusing on my passion. I feel like it's my purpose. You always go, okay, why did this happen to me? Well, it's like you're following your story and how you're helping millions and with their hunger and emotional eating. And then I feel like with me, it's just like all those people that don't realize it's not part of aging. This isn't your normal. You don't have to feel like crap. You don't have to be awake at 2 a.m. There's ways we can help you heal and rebuild yourself from the inside out. And so you can improve performance. You don't have to be an athlete, but people that are struggling with fatigue and unexplained symptoms, weight gain, bloating, whatever it might be, it's so different for everybody. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing, and just putting all together to coach people online and just help them feel better. And it's just, the holistic method is not just about nutrition and exercise, but it's working on resting and sleeping right and getting the right supplements you might need and the right type of stress management in your life. And those energy robbers, those toxic people, maybe they're causing you to be that emotional eater. You have to, dig deep and figure out, who is causing me to be anxious and what's going on or what. So that's kind of what I'm doing, similar to you a little bit, and what, I want to do your coaching program. I said eventually, because I think everyone that I work with has reasons that they eat emotional eating, and it's all kind of a little bit connected. What we talked about on my show is, what are you running to or what are you running from? And people that exercise a lot or do races, endurance events, they usually have something, I find, inside of them that they're not dealing with. And same with like your hunger. Are you hungry, or are you bored, or are you upset, or, what are those emotions? And that's the same, contributors to additional stress. And then we have the hidden internal stressors we do as FDM practitioners with those functional labs. And you can see, here's your oxidative stress levels, here's your congested liver, here's your hormones imbalance, and here's your parasite infections in your gut. So it's looking at all those labs to show, here's what stress, how it can impact the whole you. So that's what I'm doing.
Beautiful. Bottom line is, people feel better. They're treating their bodies better. They're getting a good tune-up and looking better, I'm sure. So Debbie, you have a really sweet offer for my folks here listening. What is that?
That is a 25% off discount on my 30-day group online program that we work on the 8 elements of the holistic method. So it'll be every other month, January, March, going on from there in 2020. So they can reach out to me on debbiepotts.net to redeem that coupon.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, thank you so much. And we'll put that in the show notes as well, everybody. If you really resonate with Debbie, please reach out to her. Where can they find you, Debbie?
debbiepotts.net.
Okay.
My website. And then social media, Low Carb Athlete, and Debbie Potts on Facebook. So thank you for helping share the story. And I think, we're out there trying to follow our own passions and purpose, and seeing how we can inspire others to do the same and follow along the journey.
Beautiful. And we'll put that in the show notes as well. So beautiful. Thanks so much, Debbie. It's great to have you. That's DEBBIEPOTTS for anybody listening. So,
yes, you got it right. Thank you.
Yeah. Debbie, I always have a last question that I ask people, and that is, what are you really hungry for? Or what's your deepest hunger? Sorry.
What's my deepest hunger?
Yeah.
I'm just really excited. I just finished my FDM practitioner exam a week ago, and I'm just so excited I'm just hungry to do this program with everybody. And it's just something in 5 years in the making, or since 2013, when I had all my health issues and couldn't get help from anyone. And now I feel like, we say in FDN, I want to be the last person someone has to go see to get help. And I'm so excited to do it. It's just like, I wrote my book. I saw like 10 different people, and really, as you're saying, the struggle is real. And I'm excited to be that person to make an impact in someone's life and make them feel the best version of themselves.
Beautiful. Well, you're doing it, and you're very well trained, and you have a ton of personal experience as well as professional experience. So thank you so much. Great to be with you. I really appreciate your coming on the show.
No problem. Anytime.
Yeah. And thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you on the next show.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.